Hi, Ben. Hi, Alex and Mimi. It's just me, Grandma, and I'm looking at the background. The scenery looks like the background of Michigan, northern Michigan. And usually at this time of the year, people go up north, and that's the time that we tell stories. So Grandma has a little story. I'm not going to tell the whole thing right now because Grandma's actually writing the story for you. But it's about my first pet. And my first pet, his name was Solomon. And I got a picture of him for you here. And it looks like this. You can see Solomon there. He's an all black kitty cat sitting on the sidewalk. He was an indoor outdoor cat because it was Michigan. In the wintertime, a lot of times the cats would go outside and then come back inside to get warm. But Solomon was a very wise cat. And I didn't name him Solomon. I was actually his owner, but it was Uncle Tony that named him Solomon. So here's the story, guys. Your great grandma, Janet, she came home one day from grocery shopping, and it was wet and it was cold outside, one of those cold Michigan kind of wintry days. And she hears a little meow. And at first she almost didn't hear it. And then she looked around and saw a small little kitten. And it had no mommy, it had no daddy, it had no brothers and sisters. And Grandma looked and saw that the kitty was all by itself. So she got the kitten, and it was only a couple weeks old. So I don't know if it lost its way or found its way out of its family nest, but there was no kittens to be found around the area. And this kitty needed a home. So Grandma brought the kitty in, and me, your grandmother, was only about 5 or 6 years old. And as soon as I saw him, I loved him. This black cats are one of my favorite cats. I love all kinds of cats and all kinds of animals. So you guys know that. But this particular little black kitty looked like he needed a mommy. And so Grandma, your great grandmother, got a pan, a roasting pan for a turkey, because it was right near Thanksgiving when she found this cat, and she had this tinfoil turkey pan, and she made a bed out of it for him and put a warm blanket in the pan. And that's where we put Solomon, the kitty, so that he'd be warm and he wouldn't be wet. And she let him spend the night in my room. Well, not even a few minutes after I went in my bed and I was looking down, I kept checking on him, making sure he was okay. I all of a sudden, as I'm falling asleep, I felt little sharp claws, and he was climbing up the side of the bed with his claws, and he decided he was going to sleep in my bed. And for the next almost 17 years of my life, he was asleep in my bed. He lived to be a ripe old age. So Solomon started as a little baby kitty cat, and he made his way up into my bed. And we had some really interesting stories about this cat. I've seen a lot of pets, a lot of animals, and this one has done some strange things. He's a tough cat. He is a warrior cat. Most black cats are. They tend to be warriors, and they like to hunt prey, and it's very fun. One day, he also came into our house after being outside, and we had a big field outside right across the street. And he brought something in his mouth, but I couldn't quite see it. And I said to Grandpa, I said, I think he's got something in his mouth. And believe it or not, he had a mouse, a live mouse. And kitty cats like to bring presents to the house, alive, to their owners, to let them know that they're doing their job. And he didn't hurt the mouse, he just held him in his mouth. But of course, I was screaming, get the mouse out of his mouth and out of the house too. And I could see he was confused because he's like, I'm doing my job. I'm a cat. I'm supposed to be doing this. But it was so funny. But anyway, here's another picture. This is a really small one. I developed when I was in high school. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm trying to bring it over to the camera where you can. But this is Solomon sitting on top of the oven. He liked to be wherever there was heat. That was his thing. If there was a stove on, he wanted to sit on top of it. If there was a TV on, he wanted to sit on top of the TV because it would keep him warm. And of course, in Michigan, it gets really cold. So, and for me, he was my part-time blanket. I didn't need a blanket warmer because I had Solomon, the wise King Solomon kitty, to keep me warm. And I thought I'd show you a couple pictures. This is Solomon at the piano. And yes, that's me when I was younger and I played the piano, and he would play too, except he would play in the middle of the night by walking on the keys. So yeah, we had a ghost in the house. It was a ghost of Solomon walking on the keys at night because he liked to play at night. He also played hockey. I don't think he made it for the Detroit Red Wings, but he played a pretty awesome mean game by himself at night, hitting things on the floor, and we would all hear this in the night. And one of Solomon's other favorite spots was just out by our back patio. I'm trying again to see if you can get a better picture of him. There you go. This is when we had our patio addition made, and Solomon liked to sit out by the sunshine. So I think there was a bit of South Floridian in him, that he liked to be out by the sunshine, soaking up the rays. So Grandma thought she would share with you her first real pet. His name was Solomon, and you guys are going to hear a lot more about him because Grandma's writing the story on wise King Solomon. He was a very wise cat. He even knew how to get his own food out of the refrigerator. Just ask your cousin Selena. She came to spend the weekend with us, and she saw that. She woke up and said, the cat found his own food, opened it, pushed it with his nose, and pushed the food on the floor so he could eat it. So that's a pretty smart cat. And I know you guys got some pretty smart pets. So with your parents taking good care of them, and I know you guys are too, you'll hear more about King Solomon's adventures. So for tonight, go to sleep, get some rest, and we'll see you again soon. This is Grandma signing off. Love you guys. Be good.